friends, welcome back to my channel. We are officially into April, which means it is time to talk about where I am at after month 3 of my Pan That Palette 2020 challenge. Before I can show you the goods, we have to go back in time and look at both my Lorac Mega Pro 1 palette and my Cargo Summer in the City palette after 2 months of usage. Now that we have done that, it is time to look at my Lorac Pro Palette 1 after 3 months of usage. And here is what my Cargo Summer in the City palette looks like after 3 months of usage. Okay, so it has been a really weird month overall. I was very much like going gangbusters on these palettes the first 2 weeks, and then once my school stopped being in session, I started to treat putting makeup on like it was the weekend. So I haven't really played a ton with these palettes on the back half of March. I've tried to in like the last week get back on track, and I definitely feel like the last 10 or so days where I was just playing with whatever eye makeup I wanted to was really fun. And there's definitely a worthwhile aspect to that, but I really want to get back on track with this palette because as you can see in like 2 concerted weeks of effort, I was really able to do some serious damage to taupe. I really was trying to like work on just the top side of it, but it's getting harder to get into those corners, and so that's when I started to move down here. This was basically the only crease shade that I was using during those 2 weeks. I totally allowed myself to burrow and just focus on a quick, easy look to do in the morning, and so I really was going to town on that. Today, I also used this palette. I used gold in my crease, and it's really dipping quite heavily in gold. I'll be surprised if after a few more uses I won't have a little bit of pan showing here. I also used like light bronze a couple of times and widened that circle a hair, and the same thing with mauve. I like again made that like a little bit wider, but nothing too intense. I definitely plan on finishing taupe off first, getting rid of like that comfort color, and then I'll probably move more over to mauve, which is my second favorite of the mattes that I have left in this palette. So still really happy with this, still making some decent progress. I just want to have like going into April a solid month where I really play with this and don't fall off the wagon, which happened in February and then also in March. And then to switch gears and talk about Cargo, it's pretty obvious that Rooftop and I were getting along just great. This was basically the go-to lid color that I was working with. I really like Rooftop paired with taupe from my Lorac palette. I think it's just like a really easy go-to look. I can get the same effect with Gelato, but it's only really if I'm looking for a shimmery, all over shimmery eye, which I go through phases where I love that, but I think I probably won't want to revert back to that until taupe is gone from here. I did play with Bike Ride, which is what I have on my lid today, and Rosé, but I didn't manage to get any pan showing. I'm a little bit surprised with the gold because I've been really digging into it there, and it doesn't take much to at least get some pan to show, but maybe next month. And then there were a couple of days I used Summer Love, but really I was all about rooftop, and I didn't really touch any of the bottom row. My plan in April is to finish off rooftop, which I think I can. I think if I hadn't fallen off track, I probably would be done with rooftop entirely. So I'll probably kick it back up with there. I might, since I'm not in school right now, I'm doing a lot of working from home, that I might try to play with this and be a bit more adventurous, since I don't necessarily need to worry about having to look 100% presentable, which is a different experience. I'm not fully accustomed to that, but it could be really good for me to explore more what these two palettes have to offer. The last thing that I have is the single shade that I've been using from my Too Faced Matte Eye, which is sitting right here. It currently looks like this. I have been mostly focused on dipping into the top part up here. The one thing I will say though is it's a little bit cumbersome to pull out 3 palettes every single morning. I don't feel like I have a lot of real estate in general where I put my makeup on, and to have like these 3 things at some point like all laying out being dipped into really hasn't been my favorite. So you probably noticed in my Lorac Pro palette, I didn't do an X in light pink, which I did actually finish off. And the reason for that is because I think I'm gonna try to actually repress part of my Too Faced shadow into here. That way I only have to pull out 2 palettes and not 3. I don't know how it's gonna go, but again, since I have more free time than usual, I think it'll work out okay, and it won't really take me much effort. So I'm definitely gonna give that a try. So you might see product in here come next month. If it is successful, you will. If not, I'll just put an X in here and keep pulling this puppy out in the meantime. But that is it for this update. Not a whole lot to report on. I'm really hoping that in the month of April, I'm really able to at least wipe out 1 or 2 shades and maybe get pan on a couple of other ones. That will make me feel like I'm really on the right track to get these 2 palettes done. So we'll see how April unfolds. As always, I'll come back to you guys and let you know how it's going. I appreciate you watching my 3rd month update, and I will talk to you in my next video real soon.